Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel once again. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about, as you can tell by the title, how to have a fun C-section. Now I know what you may be thinking, like how can you have a fun C-section? That just kind of seems like impossible. But you know what? It is very possible because I had a very fun C-section. So a little bit about my story. On June 9th, 2016, I gave birth to my daughter. At 12:39 p.m. But I had to have a C-section. Before that, the reason why I had to have C-section is because I had a surgery where it required an abdominal surgery, which required a scar, which they end up having to go through abdominals. So anytime you have like an abdominal surgery, then you have to have a C-section. Just to prevent, because they didn't want me to have contractions and then, you know, possibly just incision ripping and things like that. So that's why I had to have a C-section. But anyway, so sorry guys, I have my daughter here, my new daughter. I am breastfeeding her right now. But anyway, okay, so she's going to be with us for the video, okay? I hope you guys don't mind. But anyway, so the way that what I would say was a fun C-section was because the number one thing is you need to have a good support system. If you don't have a good support system with you that's going to be in the room, then it's going to be very, very difficult to even wrap your head around the fact that you're about to give birth to a child, wrap your head around the fact that they're tugging at you, they're cutting you, you know, you feel all this immense amount of pressure. It's just a lot that's going on. You know, there's the surgeons, there's the nurses, there's, you know, like there's the person who's going to take the baby. Everyone's talking to you, everyone's trying to figure out, you know, if you're comfortable, if you're fine, you got to get the spinal tap. So it's a lot of things that are going on. So you want to make sure that you have a very supportive support system. You only can have one person in the room, and the person I had in the room was her father. And he was very supportive. We joked the entire time. So that was nice. You know, he held my hand. He was just really supportive and really encouraging, which was nice to be able to have a familiar face, because you're in there with a bunch of people that you don't even know. So it's nice to have a familiar face and a person who shared this journey with you, you know, who was involved in creation of the child. So it's really nice to have that person in the room with you. So yeah, so after that, so I guess I'll just start off like what happened. So we got there, they told me to be there, get there around like 8:30 a.m. So I got there around 8:30 a.m. And what happens is you check in the triage, and then they take you to like this, like triage room where you get into your scrubs. I had to do some blood tests. That's when they hooked me up to the IV, and she went over some, you know, things with me like breastfeeding and what to expect after the C-section. I met the anesthesiologist, I met the doctors, the surgeons, and the pediatrician. So I met all of them there. So we were in that room for about a couple hours, and in that room I was able to have my family in that room, but there's only 2 people at a time. So my family rotated out between her father and my sister and my dad and everything like that. So that was really nice that you're able to actually see your family before you go into the operating room, like literally before you go into the operating room. So oh, and I gave birth at the University of Michigan, if any of you guys are wondering. So yeah, so once all that happened, it was like a breeze. So I got into the the OR room, and her father could not come in there. So it was just me. I mean, they were going to send for him later. So I came in there, and they did what's called a spinal tap. So I had to sit really still. They had me like hunch myself over, hunch all the way over my back. The most I've ever been hunched over. I thought I had a hunch then, but no, that was pretty crazy. But they did the spinal tap, and some people say their spinal tap didn't hurt, but honey, mine did. It was uncomfortable. I don't know what was wrong, if they kept getting the wrong spot, but they kept hitting me. It kept hitting me on my right hip, and it would just be, I can't describe to you what the pain felt like, but it just felt like someone was kind of like tapping me real quick, but like I was losing my circulation really fast or something like that, and then it came back. I don't know. But finally they were able to get the correct spot, so that was done, and then I immediately started getting numb. They numb you all the way up until basically below your breast. So I was pretty numb for actually, I didn't even think it was below my breast, excuse me, it was above my breast. That's how far they numbed me. So I was pretty happy to know that I was getting numb, because your girl is not gonna be able to survive. But obviously they would numb everyone. They're not gonna have you go into the surgery and not numb you. That would be freaking torture. But anyway, so they numb me, and then they do like the needle test to tell whether or not I'm numb. So I let them know I'm numb. And then after that, they were able to let my boyfriend come back in. So he came back in, and they put the curtain up, and he was scrubbed out. And so once they did that, they made the incision and they started going, and about 5 minutes later, I say, is when she was born. I was able to play jazz music, so that was nice. I had the jazz music playing in the background, and I was holding his hand, and I was really nervous. I am not gonna lie, I was really, really nervous, but everyone was just making it so much, everyone was just making an enjoyable and a peaceful experience. The surgeons were just, the nurses were nice and caressing me and talking to me and acting like I'm excited, and so my mind wasn't able to be focused on the fact that of what was happening and the fact that they were cutting me open. But and plus I was just super excited to see her. This pregnancy was just rough, and I was just ready to just see her. And after a while, when you've been pregnant for 9 months, it's like you're like, okay, let's wrap this up. I want to see my baby. I just want to be a mother already. So that's pretty much what I was feeling. I was just feeling like, okay, I want my baby now. I'm pretty much over all of this. So I was just, it was very intense. And the pressure, that's probably the only bad thing about the C-section, is the pressure is intense. You don't feel pain, but you feel pressure. What I mean by pressure is imagine someone like tugging at you, like a tug of war. So I kind of felt like someone was tugging me, and I could really feel the pressure when they were pulling her out. I literally felt them pulling her out. Not the pain, but the pressure, them pulling her out, the tugging, them pulling her out. So I just want you to be fully aware of that. But yeah, so that's pretty much what to expect. And once she came out, they put her on my chest, as you guys can see in the part 1 video. They put her on my chest, and she immediately began searching for the boob. This girl she eats like crazy. That's what I was doing before I actually started talking. I was breastfeeding her. She eats like crazy, but as soon as she came out, she started searching for the boob. And when your baby comes out, your baby's like pink and filled with fluid and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, she was beautiful. She was amazing. And her cry, they put her around the curtain. They showed me her, and then they took her over there, and my boy, he was able to go over there and cut her umbilical cord, and they cleaned her off, and I heard her crying. Her lungs were crazy. This girl is loud, okay? For her to be a little baby, her cry was intense, and everyone was talking about it, but that's okay. So I brought her, put her on my chest, and she immediately started searching for the boob, and I started feeding her right then and there. And it was a nice experience, because that's when I was able to actually wrap my head around the fact that I'm her mother. It was like we connected, she bonded. It's like she knew to search and what to do, and it was like I felt so loved by her already, that the fact that she knew I was mommy. So we took some pictures, and it took about 30 to 45 minutes for them to sew me back up. So once they got done sewing me back up, they wheeled us back into our triage room, which is a recovery room. I had to recover. I was pretty out of it. I was really, really numb. When I was out of it, I was very sleepy and drowsy and just kind of tired. Like I felt really tired. So that was kind of interesting. And then in the pre-triage room, my family was able to come back. So they were able to come back and look at the baby. And then I got my room. So I was in the hospital for about 2 days. I went Thursday and I was discharged on Saturday. And I would, it was a very nice experience. I love U of M, University of Michigan Hospital. Everyone was really nice, and I just felt like everyone treated me with respect. I was happy to see my baby. So yeah, so that was my C-section experience. How to have a fun C-section is that make sure the hospital, that you're going to enjoy the hospital that you're at. Make sure you've done your research on the hospital. You don't want to go to a hospital that's like, okay, no, this is not it. Make sure you have a person in the room with you who's going to encourage you, who's going to make you feel good, who's going to make you laugh, who's going to hold your hand, who's basically just going to be your trooper through the process. And then third thing is, you know, be calm with yourself. You have to be able to calm yourself down and recognize, you know, that you have to talk to yourself through it. I talked myself through it and I was just excited to see my baby. Just remember, in the end goal is that you're going to see your precious baby. You're going to be able to love her, him or her, and just, you know, your life is going to be complete. So yeah, so that's my story. And if you guys want to see any more videos like this, let me know, because I would definitely be able to talk to you about my pregnancy experience, my you know, things like that. It was a high-risk pregnancy, so I'd be able to talk to you guys about, you know, some things that happens in a high-risk pregnancy and things like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.